Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the disclaimers and general complaint at my lack of paying attention to the alarm on the weekends. Why these videos are so late today is because here's my dumbass. No, sleep time is now. I don't get much sleep, folks. I am a workaholic and generally stressed on the best of days. So when I get a time, when it's my weekend, I'm just like, I'll get up at a normal hour during the last day of my weekend, but right now I'm gonna sleep. And boy, do I sleep. There could be a fucking F5 tornado going through, and I probably wouldn't wake up. So yeah, that's why we're late today. And one has to sleep when they deal with the massive amounts of stupid prejudice and hatred I deal with on a generally day-to-day fucking basis. First off, you work in a call center. You basically just become a ball, literally a fucking ball of highly suppressed rage. You deal with some of the most entitled, just absolute nastiest people on the planet. I have come to the conclusion that meeting people out in the world, you're not actually meeting them as they are. You want to get a real good idea of an individual and how they actually think, be a customer service agent or a sales agent sometime. Because what they do, what they say, and how they act when they think they can get away with it, that is who that person really is. It's not a great look for humanity. So I deal with that, right? The Karens, the self-entitled people who demand and make impossible fucking requests. Yeah, those people. I deal with that. I deal with fucking stalkers on my doorstep. I deal with individuals hooping and hollering. That doesn't bother me so much. Just guys being fucking dumb. I don't take personal offense to it. No, it's not me excusing boys being boys. It's me basically saying human will human. Okay? No, what? I've had girls hooping and hollering outside of the car too. Okay? It's not a one gender thing, no matter what the media tells you. And by the way, no, I won't go there. I'll be nice. I swear, I'll be nice. The general fucking hatred that I deal with on a semi-regular basis, people coming into my TLs and being just absolutely anti-autistic, bigoted fucks who believe that because I can string sentences together that I shouldn't be saying anything about people of my own diagnosis ever, in the most hateful manner possible, and illogical, I might add. I deal with that. I deal with hatred. I deal with people threatening my family, which I'm sorry, but it's a fucking joke. If you think that's gonna make me back down, good fucking luck. Like I told the first bastard who came along who tried that shit. Yeah, I'm a part of a family of veterans who have no fucks left to give. A woman, a mother who likes to target shoot as a pastime with an AK-47 assault rifle. Trained to use it by her veteran husband, brother who's a veteran. I myself, who was trained from the age of 10. I don't take any of that seriously. We can hold our own. I pity the poor bastard who makes that poor, dumbass mistake. But also those who look down on me, talk to me like I'm fucking 6. Or even better, you're getting out of your comfort zone. That is so great. Don't get me started. I actually prefer the individuals who condescend down to me and show me actual unveiled hatred as opposed to those who want to hold me up for inspiration porn, because at least those people are fucking honest. Just saying. Where am I going with this? I don't know. It's been one of those days, right? I deal with enough stupid from every side. Most disabled people that I know deal with monumental amounts of stupid day after day after day after day. Okay? And sometimes I just gotta vent about it. I forgot the point I was going to make, but I feel better. And then I have to deal with Dr. Matthew Israel's fucking bullshit. And the medical model's bullshit. And the people who continue to tell us that behavior modification is for people with neurological disorders and actually expect me to just take it. Yeah. So I have to mentally prepare myself between each and individual one of these, because not only am I dealing with all that stupid hate, bigotry, and just downright fucking creepy ass scary behavior, I also choose to fight this bastard and expose his stupid for the world to see. Because I don't think we needed somebody to basically take him step through all the bullshit that he claims and destroy it with facts and evidence. Because people are too afraid to question people like this. They shouldn't be. The average person is a hell of a lot more intelligent than they allow themselves to believe. But let's get started, shall we? In the description box, you're going to find the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Blah. We also have NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually has the balls to see through with their threat. We've got the link to the Ozark's first article in regards to the Agape boarding school / Stone for Help situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has and pending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the hard evidence gathered by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, and starvation, and that's just for starters. You got one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises, up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too obsessed with, the drag queens doing fucking nothing to protect individuals, kids, what have you, from the real proven pedophiles in this state. And you've got a governor off his last fucking nut. So send help and share that on all your social media. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and folks, as always, the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition, a link to Jennifer Masemba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, and a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use those headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, they are watching this. Very obviously, parental supervision is advised. All right? Trigger warning, we're about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear lies, pseudoscience, victim blaming, gaslighting. Did I mention lies? And all of this is coming from a man with a massive ego and an even larger God complex. So just, be prepared. I also want to refer to you, because once again, we're talking about the bizarre behavioral rehearsal lessons, which Dr. Matthew Israel absolutely insists is the height of psychology. It's not. It's not peer-reviewed at all. And a matter of fact, when he mentioned it was actually peer-reviewed by scientific journals, okay, doctor, which ones? I mean, I would assume if it was actually peer-reviewed, you'd be able to name them. He doesn't. Why? Because it's a lie. The only place this has actually been published is out of the JRC. And I hate to tell you, but that's not peer-reviewed, doctor. It's not peer-reviewed when the individuals who agree with it, you're signing their paychecks. It's not how peer review works. But let's get into it, shall we? This therapy is needed when the behavior to be treated occurs very infrequently, but is so dangerous and threatening to the students themselves or others that students are at risk of ending their own lives or of those of others, or maiming themselves or others, even if only one instance of the behavior is allowed to occur. Again, this is that magical thinking. It sounds benign, doesn't it? Let me tell you why it's bullshit. Because it comes with this idea that somehow, with enough behavior modification and stupidity, magically we're going to be neurotypical. And that these problems are never going to occur again. It's not the reality. It's not the real world. That's not the reality of the situation at all. The truth is, parents, siblings, everyone out there, hear me. I want you to listen to me. Let's start with the first lie. This concept that if we don't magically become neurotypical, we'll never succeed in life. I am not magically neurotypical, folks. I still have meltdowns. I still have those moments. They've been brought down to a very, very low level, but they still occur. Funny how I'm still doing okay, right? You want to know why I'm doing okay? Because I don't live in La La Land. I live in reality. The reality is, no matter what you do, what medicines, pseudoscience, powder pills you put yourself on, or what diet you put yourself on, no matter what bizarre therapy gets forced on you from insane psychotic individuals like Dr. Matthew Israel, they're still going to happen. I still do these things. Are the occasions rare? Yes. In fact, that's what he's saying here. That it's rare, so we must force them and then punish them so they know it's wrong. Here's the fact he doesn't address. If it's happening rarely, that means we know it's bad. That means we're not willingly engaging in the behavior. So you're punishing us essentially for having a behavior that you deliberately triggered, think on it. No sane doctor is going to deliberately trigger their patient into an autistic meltdown because they know what happens. Property damage. You heard Paul mention it, right? A lot more goes on during meltdowns. Living in reality is understanding this. Not hating or beating yourself up for it. Preparing for it yourself and preparing others around you as best you can for those situations. And coming up with means and methods to kind of ease yourself out after becoming coherent again after such an episode. That's what you can do. You can't erase them completely. There is no magical making me into a neurotypical, or your child, or anybody. We are what we are. It's never going to change. Okay? It's never going to change. When we embrace this reality, when we don't mourn it, but look at it logically, and then do what we have to do, then there can be success. There can be us even, I know, crazy, living on our own with appropriate supports in place. I know because I've seen it, not just because I am it. The reason why they're rare, doctor, is because we know it's bad. That's why we do things in a way to try and not get ourselves triggered to put us in a situation that we can't control. Because let me tell you let me let you in on a little bit of being autistic, folks. We hate being out of control. Hate. Like, I can't put into words for you how much we hate not being in control. If we know what's going to happen, we are not going to go out of our way to trigger ourselves into it. Okay? It's just stupid. Addressing reality. Trying to minimize it, put what reasonable accommodations, what have you, in place. Prepping your child for this for when they are more my age. These are good things. Living in La La Land and believing by abusing a child and threatening them and grabbing them and forcing them into meltdown that somehow this is going to fucking help is the height of fucking insanity. If you are a parent and your doctor is deliberately fucking triggering your kid into meltdown, yank your kid out of there immediately. Because that's not treatment. Let's move on here. The combination of these two factors, extremely dangerous behaviors that occur only rarely, means it's not prudent to wait for the behavior to occur and rely on the use of decelerating adverse consequences alone to change the behavior. That's what he doesn't understand, and I need you parents to understand this, please. For the love of God, if you hear me on nothing fucking else, listen to me now. Please. Listen to me. You cannot change this. You cannot change this. It is fucking impossible for you to change this. We are who we are. We have what we have. We are always going to have that part of ourselves. It's going to melt down. The same as you have neurotypicals that are going to have those rare moments where their meltdown looks shockingly like one of ours. There's no changing this. There is no pill, no diet, no psychological fucking dishonest babble that's ever going to change the fact that we are going to melt down. Please stop listening to these people who tell you different. For the sake of your child and their fucking sanity, stop listening to these pseudoscience bastards making millions of dollars off of you, selling you a fucking pipe dream. It's not reality. They're selling you a lie, and they're stealing your money while they're doing it. Please listen to me. We are always going to have meltdowns. That is a part of the reality of our lives. Okay? We are forced into a world that is not built for us. We are reminded every day by every single person around us and every time we go out there in the real world of this fact. That alone is enough to cause anyone to have meltdowns, okay? Just in case anyone's wondering. There is no magical solution that's going to stop meltdowns. It does not exist. Do not throw your money at people like Dr. Matthew Israel. Don't let your school districts do it. Don't let anyone do it who are selling you a pipe dream. I don't sell pipe dreams. I give you reality. It's cold, it's hard, it's unfriendly. But it's a hell of a lot more helpful than the bullshit. And I'm going to tell you something else that people like Dr. Matthew Israel don't want to tell you. Even though this is true, even though that's cold, hard reality, that does not mean that your child can't succeed. That's the fucking worst lie of it all. Worst lie of it all. That because of these behaviors, because of our neurology, that we cannot go out there and live the same lives as everybody else, because it's a lie. It's a lie. I've done all of those things they told me I would never do. Live without staff. Work a full-time job. Be successful. Be out there to make my name known in the world. I've done literally all of these things. All of them. Have friends. Granted, they're scattered, so it's kind of hard to meet up, but that's our world now, right? I go out on a semi-regular basis. I cover my own bills. I control my own medical care and my medical documents. I do all the things that any regular neurotypical adult does. Believe it or not, I do it without the aid of staff. I do it without the aid of my parents who are aging. I do all of these things for myself, in spite of the very real reality that I have meltdowns. Because I live in reality, I've prepared myself and others to the point that even though I still have them and they still occur, the damage is able to be minimized down to a minimum. And even though I still have them, they do not in any way, shape, or form affect my life and my ability to go out there and live it. That's what accepting reality can do for you. It's not simply accepting and grieving. It also has a proactive part to it. When you accept that reality, and you can then go back and say, okay, this is reality. This is true. Okay, what are the reasonable accommodations, the coping mechanisms, and the things that I can put in place for my child so that they are able to go out there and live the best life that they can? And quit with the fucking quality of life shit. I'm sorry, but I'm going to rant about this real quick because, God, it pisses me off. Quality of life was a thing that went around medical circles, right? Here's the thing. What I call quality of life and what you do could be very vastly different. So quit trying to push onto us the shit you believe, for fuck's sake. I've been wanting to say that for years. All right, moving back on here. Kind of went off there. What are we learning from this? There is a whole entire part of medicine that survives off of magical thinking. It's cure culture at its worst. The problem with magical thinking means you're not dealing with the reality. Not only are you thinking in reality, but you're not doing in reality. When you deal with reality, you can then problem solve. When you don't deal with reality, the problem goes unsolved. You can live in reality and realize that a problem cannot be completely, utterly eradicated. But you can also make the logical deduction that if things are put into place, you can bring it down to the point that it doesn't fuck your entire life over. That's what living in reality can do. I invite all of you to start. These people who are selling you pipe dreams are not your friend. They're not your child's friend. They are liars and grifters. And they do it using the word medicine. Stop. When we stop, when we live in reality, that's when real change, meaningful change can happen. That's where real development is. Okay? Let's close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.